Hey, badass business owners, welcome to another episode of the Local Small Business Coach Podcast, where each episode we work on getting you to $100,000 in take-home pay. So if you're all ready to boost your profits, increase your sales, improve your processes, and develop stronger teams so you can stop living job to job, then let's dive in. Hey, badass business owners, welcome back to the show. It is Thursday, one of my favorite days because I love talking about your business numbers. And I had a fun-filled week last week, and so far this week, the same thing. I've been on a mission because, as you know, I've been building this course, Know Your Business Numbers course, and the module I'm currently working on today has to do with profit and loss statements, otherwise known as income statements, and these are those fun-filled sheets that your bookkeeping or whoever does your bookkeeping for you, if you do it, you print these up, or someone else does them for you, and it really is the report card of your business. And it's where you dive in and it tells you everything about your business. And as you know, it's got three big chunks to it. It's got your sales, it's got your cost of goods sold, it's got your expenses, and it tells you about your profitability and all this fun stuff. Well, one of the things that I've been doing is I have had quite a few coaching sessions, not only in my local market, but also with several of you guys over the phone talking about your P&Ls and everything else and diving into what it is that you've been doing and how to read them and everything else. And there's been some themes that have come up, and I just thought that we would take an episode and kind of talk about it, because if I've had this theme through all of these different people, the odds are some of it might resonate with you. So I thought I would go ahead and do it. Now, one of the things that is a clear standout is, we need this course. We absolutely do. You guys are badasses. You guys are busting your butt, working hard and driving the numbers, and you're really trusting your gut. And for the most part, your gut is pretty good. And I always tell people that I'd rather you trust your gut a lot of times because it's going to keep you out of trouble. Our gut is our heart, and our heart will tell us one thing, our mind will tell us another. Our gut usually is telling us, if we listen to it, what's the right thing to do. And it's usually a combination of the two. So a lot of you guys run your businesses through your gut. And the problem is, because you're so used to running it through your gut and you're so used to running and gunning, you don't really take the time to dive into your income statements and or P&Ls. They're the same thing. It's just, like I said, it's the overall snapshot of your business for that month and for the year to date. And what happens is you get that paper and you look at it, and then you kind of put it in a file, and you take that file and you put it in a filing cabinet, or you throw it on top of something, and you say, you make a promise to yourself, I'll look at that later, or I'll look at it when I have to, but my accountant tells me what I need to know. Well, I'm going to tell you now, your accountant is probably not telling you what you need to know, because your accountant is there to make sure that everything gets keyed in. And it really depends upon your accountant. There are some that are absolutely going to throw up red flags and tell you when there's a problem. But in most cases, your accountant's not going to tell you how to read it and how to look for opportunities for the future. You see, we look at our income statement and our profit and loss statement for more than just what is wrong in the business. We really look at it for opportunities, because it's always telling us something that we could be getting better at, or opportunities for more profitability or more sales, not just the fact that we've fallen down and we have failed at something, which kind of leads to one thing, because as we were looking at these P&Ls, and I'm just going to call them P&Ls versus income statement P&Ls, it's the same thing. But when we're looking at them, one of the most common themes I get with people is they get to the bottom of it after we go through it all, and we get to the bottom, because I don't start at the bottom, which is your total profitability. We kind of take a journey to get there when we do it together. But one of the bad things is, you know what? Sometimes people aren't doing as well as they thought they were. And in some cases, it's like a gut punch, like somebody sucker punched you because you didn't make nearly the amount of money that you thought you did. And in some cases, you may be breaking even or losing money. And you thought for sure that you were putting money into the business, and it turns out that you really weren't putting any money in the business. So you're going to have a whole list and range of emotions. And what my role is and what my goal is when I'm talking to you is, how do I get you to get excited about the opportunities? Because even some of the worst ones that I looked at with people this past week, they were filled with great opportunity for them to be able to make more money. The key is, if you don't know that you're losing money, or if you don't know what's going on in your business, how can you make the right changes? Sometimes we chase the wrong thing. We chase the wrong rabbit. We chase the things that aren't going to really impact our business as much as something else. Because sometimes what we need to fix and sometimes what we need to look at isn't the sexy part of the business. It's not the fun part of the business. For many of you, you don't like numbers. You don't like that gobbledygook. It just looks like a bunch of crap thrown out on a piece of paper, and it doesn't make any sense. And let's face it, the older we get and as we mature into adults, we don't like to admit that we don't know something. We don't like to admit that we're wrong about something. And unfortunately, one of the themes that I found throughout the course of the week of talking to people is, and I'm talking to some really smart people. I'm telling you, I've been very impressed with a lot of the people that I've talked to this past week, and how well they know their business and what they're doing and what they're creating and everything else. So I'm not talking to dum-dums. I'm talking to some people that have built some amazing things. But when it comes to this piece of paper, for whatever reason, it creates this anxiety, this fear, this I don't want to know. Sometimes it's a matter of somebody else handle it. So let me talk about that real quick while I'm thinking about it, okay? For many of you, you might be the primary person that drives that business. But in many cases, many of you have a spouse who is also part of the business. And that spouse can sometimes be a silent partner. It could be somebody that looks at the books while you do the doing. For example, you're running the business and you're making things happen, but they're the ones that are doing the paperwork in the backside, or they're looking at things. And there's some people that, they're silent. There's all kinds of combinations out there. But anyways, my point is this. There's times when I've heard, and I would say probably 3 times alone in the past week, well, my wife is the one that handles that, or my husband is the one that handles that. And this is a complete surprise and shock to me. Okay, folks, your P&L, your income statement should never be a shock to one spouse over the other. You guys should be sitting down looking at this together. If it's just your business and they're not involved, I totally get it. But when both of you are looking at your numbers and both of you are living and breathing and eating and paying the mortgage off of what you do with this business, and you're partners in this business, you guys have got to be looking at this together. There's been times when people are talking about the fact that, they look at it, I don't look at it. Well, I'm telling you right now, you both need to look at it. You both need to be adults. I'm not saying you're kids, but you both need to be adults. And this is something important. You're owners of a business. You need to look at this together, and you need to make sure you both are on the same page. Because there's been some shocks this past week when people like, and it turns out that the other person probably knew who they were in business with, and they never had that conversation. And that's a bad thing. Okay. So not that it's not a hurdle that you guys can't get over. You absolutely can get over it, but I just want to kind of throw that out there. The other thing that we did as we've been diving into these different things is really helping to understand the buckets of what each of these buckets mean, what the sales bucket and what should it look like, what the gross cost of goods bucket looks like, what the expense bucket looks like. How do you read the difference? Why should you have the month to date and the year to date? Why should you have the percentages on there? And how do you read it? And how do you find stuff? This is all the kinds of stuff that I'm putting into the course because I want you to be able to be dangerous. And one of the things that I've had a lot of fun with is how excited everybody has gotten about their P&L as we've dived into it. And it kind of starts off as this painful experience. And I've always said that I think there's a way to make numbers fun, that I can help you. You may never love math, but or you may not like numbers, but I do think that I can make the numbers of your business become fun to you, especially when you realize what they're telling you and all of the potential sales that they're telling you. So instead of you chasing stuff you don't need to be chasing, you can chase the right things like I was talking about earlier. It's the opportunities. Because here's the thing, you can't fix what you don't know. And if you don't know something, how are you supposed to fix it? And do you really want to wake up 2, 3, 4 years down the road to find out you've been losing money all the time? And here's what happens. Most people bleed slowly, because if you're losing $100, let's just say you have $1,000 in your checking account and you lose $100 or $50 every single month. It's going to take, and you never look at that checking account. Okay. It's going to take you a while. It's going to take you a year plus before you even realize that, oh my God, I have been sinking slowly month after month after month. And for a lot of you, your business has been kind of doing the same thing. And now you start scrambling because you got to be able to put that back, and you need to be able to figure this out. And this is why it's important that you're looking at these numbers, because not only can they be fun and not only can you see tons of opportunity, they are going to tell you things that where you're going wrong, so you can right that ship and you can fix it as soon as possible. Because the opportunity doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something bad. There's times when you're running a really strong business, but you want to look at the P&L and your income statement because of more opportunity, even better ways to do sales. And that comes in with what I call stacking. When you start putting year over year over year and you can start seeing trends, it's amazing what your numbers are telling you. And that's where the fun comes in. Matter of fact, sometimes when you just have the month, especially when you start to get mid-year and you start to look at that year-to-date number side by side. For example, you could have a category that let's just say in month of June that you had, that was 16% of your business. Let's just say it's 16% of your business. But normally it's 20% of your business. When you look at year to date, you start to notice that it's 20% of your business. Well, that's a huge problem, because the dollars that go along with that 16% might still be huge, and you might falsely believe you're doing really good. But the problem is if normally you've been trending at 20%, you actually have a huge problem on your hands, because you're not creating the sales to keep up with what your business is doing today. You're going backwards slowly, and you don't even realize that you're going backwards. It could be, for example, that you're at 16% of your business, but the last 3 years it's been 17, 18% of your business. Once again, you're going backwards. But sometimes they could be fun. Maybe in the past they were 15% of your business, and this year it's 16% of your business. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. What are you doing? What's different this year versus last year? So this way you can continue to repeat the success, and you can continue to do better with it. That's the kind of stuff that I really want you guys to get excited about. And these are the hidden things that you're going to find in your business. This is one of the reasons why I'm trying to create some different spreadsheets for you, some different tools for you to be able to use, so that you can dive in and you can kind of look at these things, because it's amazing what it is that you find when you start diving in. And for everybody that I've talked to this past week and a half, what's been fun is everybody's had something different. And one, I felt bad because we were torturing him because his P&L did not have percentages on there. But I was actually teaching him how to create the percentages on his own. And he got to see all kinds of opportunity while we were doing that. And we were laughing because everything's is off of your percent of your total sales, and I could not remember the number. I had to keep looking it up every time we were doing something, so it was kind of funny. But it's amazing what you can find. But now he has all kinds of stuff that when we were done, he was able to go back to the guy who does his bookkeeping for him and say, look, going forward, I want to see the percentages on here, and I want to see better categories, because all of his stuff was rolled up. That's another thing that and I show this in the course, because I actually was working on that yesterday, where some of you guys, everything is rolled up into one number, but then I show the power of having it broken down into different categories of different types of sales that you have in your do within your business, so you can see what each piece of that business is doing currently for you today. Because not only does it break it down from a sales standpoint, if you set it up in your cost of goods, you can also break that down, and you can start seeing things much easier because it helps you pinpoint stuff. And that's the fun that I really enjoy doing when I'm looking at things with people, because I think that that's where the power really comes in. And I've been trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of show some of that within the course as I'm putting it together. Obviously, a course is never going to be that same live experience of doing it with me. But you know what? It's going to get you going. It's going to get you thinking the right way. It's going to get you seeing stuff the right way, because I'm going to try to find different ways, and with permission from people, if I can use their P&L, I can actually use it as training things. I started already thinking, going in the future, when people share their P&L with me, it might be something where I can continually add case studies on there. Because one of my goals with this course is that you have lifetime access, and if I can continue to add stuff in the future, I can keep coming up with some good case studies to continue to show people on how they can dive in and look for things. So I'm really excited about the the future and what it is that I can share with people as we go on. And that's going to be some good fun. So I'm excited about that. Let's see here. Did I have any other notes here? Actually, that's pretty much it. Like I said, overall, it was really fun. I mean, there were some moments that were pretty sad, kind of depressing. I felt bad for a couple of people because we got them all excited as we're working our way down, and we got to the bottom and it was not a number that they wanted to see. And I get it. I've got P&Ls of my own. Matter of fact, in the course, I share some of mine because, we don't always have the best a month with what we're looking at. But the key is it's what you do with the information. Every time bad things happen to us, it's about what we do with it that matters most. Not that it happened for a reason. It was happened for a learning opportunity. And then after that, it's about what you do with that information. Because if you just keep repeating it, then shame on you when you could have known better. So, once you become aware of it, you can't help but make those changes. And like I said, every single person, we're talking probably 6-7 people, it might have even been 8, but, that we talked about their P&L, we dove into it and we looked at it, and not one person wasn't excited by the opportunities. Were a couple people disappointed in a few things? Absolutely. I don't blame them. I would have been too. But here's the thing. Badasses don't have pity parties. Nope. Badasses take it, digest it. You'll have your 5-minute pity party, and then you say, okay, now I'm going to go out and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make a difference and stuff like that. So that's the part that's really cool, because every person who had any kind of negativity that ended up creeping itself in because of something that happened in the past, they made a commitment to themselves that they're going to start looking at this stuff. But more importantly, they had their pity party, but they knew that they were going to go out and make a difference and make a change. And that's what matters most. So I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this puppy up. But like I said, if you want to have an opportunity to kind of dive into your P&L, we got a couple different things that you can do. There are people that are signing up for the course. Right now, the course, you're able to get into it at just a basic price because it only has one thing on it right now, but as I add modules and add more training, it will creep up. So if you want to get in on that, you just head on over to knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. It's also in the show notes, and you can get into it now. That P&L stuff, I think I'm just going to start releasing it. I won't have the whole thing in one shot. Instead of holding off on people, I'm just going to go ahead and start putting it in there as I finish up some of them. So hopefully this week I'll put a few more things on there. But also, there's coaching. I've done some one-on-one coaching calls with people. There's some different things that if you want to kind of dive into it. I'm just on a mission. I really am. I'm on a mission to help as many of you as possible understand your business numbers. And for those of you that are listening that don't even have an income statement or a P&L or even know what I am talking about, you have a completely different issue that we need to try to get fixed, because basically it is the report card of your business, and it is where you're going to find the good, the bad, the ugly, but it's what's going to help keep you in business for a very long time, because it's going to be helping you with the information that you need to have. And in the course, not only are we going to do the P&L, even though that's a huge part, it's the number one report that you need to understand. We talk about gross margin, which is the number one calculation that you need to understand, but we're going to talk about the different reports. My whole goal is to make it as simple as possible. Sometimes I know when you get on YouTube or you talk to other businesses, they're all built for big businesses or complicated businesses. You guys have basic, simple businesses, and so the explanations of your business should be simple as well and understandable. I had a couple different people that made the comment of how I made it so much easier to understand than what their CPA or their bookkeeping person did. And there's a reason for that. They're looking at it through one set of eyes. I'm looking at it through your eyes and what it is that you should be seeing, and what would I be looking for if it was my P&L. That's how I explain it to you guys. I've been teaching P&Ls and how to read them for years and years and years, not only to small business owners like yourself, but like I said, when I was with Home Depot, P&L was like the main thing that we had as a tool. And having been a supervisor a very long time, I've been teaching P&Ls now for, 25 years, at least at minimum. I just think they're a fun report full of great information, and I just love them. So if you want to know, just reach out. You can also reach out to me, email me, Tammy at Local Small Business Coach. That's TAMMY at localsmallbusinesscoach.com. I've had a bunch of people email me this past week, ask me a couple questions, and I really love hearing from you guys. It's always fun. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. But like I said, P&Ls, please, 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 even if you don't phone, you don't do anything, just pull yours out, dust it off, find the file it's in, and just start looking at it and just start trying to understand it. I've got some video. I got a basic video on YouTube for people to be able to look at. But then, like I said, here on this course, I'm going to be really diving in and really trying to explain it to everybody. So I'm not trying to sell the course. I'm just trying to say it's a tool for you to have. So there's a lot of different ways for you to use it. Even if you just sat down with another business owner who really knows what they're doing, I just want to make sure that each and every one of you guys are understanding your P&L/income statement, whatever you want to call it. It's very important. And I feel like I need to have a ruler and thump you over the head if you're not doing that. So if you do nothing else, please promise me that you're going to commit to doing that. All right, I'm going to shut up now because I'm rattling and I'm out of here. I will talk to you on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, before you go, if you're looking to learn more about your business numbers, then check out the Know Your Business Numbers course, where we take a deeper dive into the key numbers, the calculations, the reports that will help you take your business to the next level. My mission is to help everyone love their business numbers. Yes, even including those of you that hate math. So much profit is hidden inside of your business numbers, and I want you to create some awesome profits. So check out the link in the show notes or head on over to the knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. Once again, knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. Come join me. Let's go ahead and work on building your profits.